What is up, fellow summoners, and welcome to the channel. Today you are listening to The Bottom Line, my YouTube channel slash podcast slash make-believe podcast. I don't know, it's not really, I guess, technically a podcast if it's a video format on YouTube, but it's the best I could do for right now. It seems like there are a lot of people who are enjoying it, and I also enjoy putting it together, so we will continue to put I say we, I don't know why I always reference myself as we, as if I've got a bunch of people working here. But I will do my best to continue to try to put these out every Friday, which I know we had a double take this week. We had one Monday because I was catching up for the one I missed last Friday. But that was only because my son was born the day before, and so my schedule was all messed up. But everything should be moving forward. Should be able to put these out on Fridays without any issues. Speaking to that point, I was actually going to talk about this at the end, but I guess I'll talk about it now. In last night's live stream, I don't know if somebody gave me this idea or if somebody said something and it gave me the idea, but I think it would be really fun maybe every other week. Maybe once a month, maybe every other week, instead of doing the podcast on a Friday where I record it and then put it out on the channel. I think it would be fun to do it live, do a live stream where I'll pull up a video feed. It won't be gameplay or anything. It'll be me. I'll have the video feed there for the camera. I will put the chat on screen. It'll be a little bit different though, because I won't necessarily be reading through chat like I normally would. Like for a normal weekday stream where I'm playing the game, where I talk back and forth with everybody. But if I am covering topics, I may get some feedback here and there from people who want to add to that particular topic that I'm talking about. Then I think it also would be a good opportunity for me to bring in, I've mentioned this several times now, to be able to bring in other commentators, whether that be content creators or subscribers to the channel, club members for the new sponsors, all that stuff. I think doing that live will be a little bit easier than me trying to pre-record the conversations that I'll have, because I won't be able to do that all at the same time if I record it prior. I'd have to have a conversation with whoever the special guest is, and then I'll record that, then try to splice that into the normal podcast. So I think it would just be easier for me to do that all live. And then that leads me into my next point, because I will probably try to do that. Maybe not with content creators, but if I end up using subscribers or sponsor members from Club 801, I'll probably pull you in through the voice chats in my new Discord server, which I do want to make sure that I mention that here at the beginning. I have kind of thrown it out in a few tweets the last couple of days. I think I put it at the end of my champ refresh video this week, but I do have a Discord server that is set up, which, if you are unfamiliar with Discord, you're not alone there. I am actually very new to it myself. Essentially, it's like kind of a big chat lounge kind of thing, where you can join. We've got different chat channels talking about all kinds of things. We got the general chat. We got suggestions and feedbacks. I've got Wormax chat in there. We've got chat for content creators. If you're new to MCOC, trying to make a YouTube channel, you're welcome to come in there. I can pin videos that you post. You're welcome to get some exposure. If you have questions as far as video editing software, hardware, what to use, not only myself, but there's a lot of other content creators in there that can help you out as well with suggestions. If you are a new sponsor to the channel, which that just started like a week and a half ago, Club 801 members, if you're a sponsor, you definitely make sure to go over to Discord. We've got a Club 801 member only chat there. Was there anything else? Oh yeah, I've got a cutoff history one that I'm working on as well, where I'll post my cutoffs that I give in the live stream. I'm making kind of a fancy little graphic, and I'll post it there each week and keep track of all that for you guys. So there's just a lot going on over there, and I will continue to use Twitter, but Twitter is more so like just kind of blasting out like, hey, this is what's going on, as opposed to something where I can have conversations back and forth. It's just easier to do that on Discord. It's one of those things where now that I'm not live streaming necessarily as much as I was, just because with the new baby in the house, it's difficult for me to stream until 12:30, 1 o'clock at night, because I've got to get home, got to get to bed, to be able to take care of our new son. So I basically, while I'm here at work, I have my Discord server pulled up. I just have it open all the time. And as messages come in, I do my best to keep track of those and answer them and communicate and have a good time with you guys. So I'm having a lot of fun with it so far. It's only been up for just a couple of days. So make sure that you go over, and I've got the link down in the description of this video here. Go over there, get yourself into the Discord server. Would love to have you all over there. And then the last thing I wanted to mention that is all kind of tied into that. This is all kind of, I guess, like house cleaning stuff before I get into the day's main discussion. On Monday, I have hinted about this a couple of times. It was a suggestion that was sent in by a subscriber. So yes, your voice is heard, and I do my best to listen and to incorporate the ideas when I can. I'm going to put out a request. Was it a request? How do I want to phrase this? I'm going to open up and allow people to do champ refresh, submit them on a character, which as of right now, I'm not sure who I want that to be on. But I've had a lot of feedback, and I get like emails and stuff from people whenever I do these videos with suggestions and ways that they would do it. So I know that there's a lot of you out there who like to do this kind of like theory crafting, champ refresh stuff along with me. So now is your opportunity to kind of let your creativity shine. I have a theory crafting / champ refresh channel over on the Discord as well, which is why I'm mentioning it here. So Monday, when I announce what character it's going to be, I'll probably give, like, I don't know, several days for you guys to submit it. But we're going to be using the Discord server, that chat channel. If you want to email it to me, I'll put it there as well. I'll probably try to narrow it down maybe to like the top, I don't know, maybe top 2 or 3. I guess it just depends upon how many come in. And then we'll let the community, I guess, vote on which one they like best. Whichever one wins, I'll probably have some sort of special role that I will assign, similar to a mod in the Discord server. But I will actually, I'll tweet out your name, all the information. I'll tweet it directly to Marvel, directly to Kabam, I should say. And we'll see if they pick it up. And who knows, maybe one day they'll take your suggestions and run with it. Just trying to have a little bit of fun. Ultimately, that's really what this all comes down to with this new Discord server, this podcast idea, the champ refresh, bringing in people to participate in that. That all kind of boils down to the fact that I'm just trying right now the best that I can to keep the game different, entertaining, keep people involved. Just with the current climate of the game right now, that's a little bit difficult to do. So I am definitely all for suggestions and feedback, and I want to let you guys know that I do listen to all the emails and everything that comes in. I may not get back to you right away, but just know that your voice is being heard and that it does matter, at least on my channel. Okay, now I need to get into the week that was, talk about the cutoffs, which we've only got one arena to talk about because we did the video on Monday, the podcast on Monday, which covered that one already. We had the second round of Crossbones and Psylocke, which Crossbones, God, I don't know what happened in that arena. First time around, it was, I believe it was 8-7, which that was high. And then it surprised me and went even higher. Went all the way up to 9-3, which for a character that has been around as long as Crossbones, that really, really surprised me. I wasn't necessarily surprised by the 8-7. I thought that it might tick down a little bit but stay in the 8s, but the fact that it crossed over into the 9s, that certainly surprised me. And then we had Psylocke in the basic arena, second round. First time was 2.7. Not surprisingly, it went up. I expected it to go up by about 500,000 points. I had put the cutoff at 3.2. It actually was a hair above that at 3.3, which I was unable to participate in that one. My week was just too crazy. I didn't have enough time to do it, so missed out on duping her, but not a huge loss because I don't actually use her. Don't actually use her for anything right now. She's kind of a poor man's Magic, but I already have Magic, so yeah, she just kind of gets thrown to the back of the bus. The arena currently that we are in is Mephisto and Iron Fist, which Mephisto right now, I feel like I feel like people are going a little bit nuts for Mephisto. I do like him. I'll talk about all the new characters here in just a second. I do like Mephisto. I don't think I love him as much as some people are making it out to be, but I feel like there's a lot of hype for that arena. I have personally got the cutoff at 16-8. I think it is going to be high the first round. I would not be shocked if it is in the high 16s. If the next round we don't see it tick up into the 17s. Am I crazy for saying that? I hope I'm crazy for saying that. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of hype for this character. And then on the other side, we've got Iron Fist, who's got a cutoff about as low as it can be. Your last milestone in the basic is 1.5. Just a few 100,000 points past that, you'll be able to pick up Iron Fist. These old characters that don't have a ton of utility will fall somewhere between typically the 1.8 to 2.2 number. I'm going to put the cutoff at 2.2. I think if you want to do anything up above 2.2, you'll be very safe. You'll be able to pick him up. I actually am participating in that arena. I still do not have Iron Fist after nearly 3 years of playing the game. I have never pulled him, and I guess I just missed out last time he was in the arena. So I will be picking him up. Don't know if I'll awaken him, although I probably will be grabbing milestones, and just a few fights after that I could awaken him. So maybe, or do I want the shards? I don't know. Either way, for newer people to the game, this is a great opportunity to pick up a champ to add to your roster. That's good. That has good damage output potential for a very small amount of points. So make sure that you pick that up. All right, so let's talk about these new characters that have come to the game. We've got Mephisto, we have Morningstar, and we have Blade. And I did my kind of initial thoughts video on that. I think I put that out last Friday. Was it last Friday I put that out? Oh, crap. Now I can't remember. Maybe it was Monday. I don't know. Whenever I put it out, the first thing that struck me about all of them was how dual-purposed they felt. And what I mean by that is they can be used for both offensive purposes. They look very strong there. And then on the flip side of that, if you were to put them on defense, they also look like they've got some abilities that you're just not going to be able to play around, especially in the case of Morningstar and Mephisto. Morningstar, she has a chance to place a bleed on you. I want to say it's like a 50% chance when you attack her that you're going to place a bleed. She has to have one of those soul charges, which if she's awakened, she starts the fight with one of those. So yeah, if you're going to New York Comic-Con, that is all something I will talk about in a later video. We'll plan for that contest that's coming up next week. But it looks like you may want a bleed immune champ, depending upon what kind of bleed, how long the fight's going to be. I think a big portion of your points are, don't quote me on this, but I think it's how quickly you can get through and how little damage you lose. So even if you play really well and you get through the fight quickly, if you don't have a bleed immune champ, you're probably going to be losing points there. So yeah, I think bleed immune champ's going to be the way to go there. But I don't want to get off on that subject. That's a video we'll cover next week, or maybe this weekend. Anyway, it's coming up soon. I'll just put it that way. And then Mephisto is a very similar character in that he has a fire, what's it called? Aura of incineration, I think it is. Fire aura, something like that. But essentially, when you are attacking into him, there's a chance for that fire aura to trigger, which it's a proximity. So when you're close to him, you'll have passive damage that is ticking off. It's from the incinerate, but the incinerate is a buff on Mephisto. It's not a debuff on you. So that's not something that you can shrug off. With like an Agent Venom or a Crossbones. Vulture cannot absorb it and use it to his benefit because it's not actually a debuff on you. It's a buff that does passive damage when you get close. That one I think is a little bit easier to play around because once he has that up, the only time that it can be a permanent, I think, is when he has an S. He uses his S3. I think there's a chance for that to trigger permanently. But if he triggers it passively outside of that and it's on a timer, you can evade back and wait for that to fall off. It doesn't have a real long timer. So there is a little bit of an ability to play around that one. I kind of think, because initially I was like, man, why didn't they make Mephisto the defensive character you're going to fight at New York Comic Con, but I think I see the reason why, and that's because it would be too easy to evade back and avoid that damage. Whereas with Morningstar, if you're attacking into her, the only way to not get the bleeds is to have a bleed immune champ. But anyway, going back to the main purpose of the conversation, they both look like they're going to be strong for offense and defense. And then even Blade, I think Blade is a little bit more offensive based. I really like the chance for him to auto block when you're intercepting and don't catch the intercept. There's a chance there for that to happen, which is increased with his danger sense, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, definitely go watch that early take video that I did. But I think of the 3 characters, I still am most excited for him. I think partly because I just am really looking forward to having another really good skill character, which now in the last 2 months we've had 2 skill characters come to the game. We had Kingpin last month, and now here this month we have got Blade, which I'll talk about characters coming for the rest of the year. It doesn't look like we're going to have any science champs coming, but at least before the end of the year, we've had 2 solid skill characters come to the game. And I think of the 3, I don't want to go for each of them in the arena. I would love to pick them up, but I think I would just be way too worn out to do that. So I think of the 3, I will probably be going for Blade. If he was a Mystic, I would be a little bit less likely to go for him just because I've already got a bunch of other Mystics that I would probably use ahead of him. But as far as skill class goes, he does have that proximity regen when the enemy is bleeding, plus the chance to auto block. Looks like you can be really, really aggressive with your intercepting. So he looks like he could be a lot of fun to play. I am slightly disappointed in his animation set. It feels very kind of very stiff. Is that the way that I want to put it? He feels very stiff, which I think that's the way they intended it, because he's very kind of cut and dry in his movement set. But I was hoping for something that felt a little more fluid, something along the lines of Gwenpool, but I guess they're trying to make that separation there. But anyway, I probably, of the 3, for featured grind, will be going for Blade. And then that kind of transitions us over into remaining characters for the year. There's been a lot of people talking about this. I've seen many discussions, a couple of videos already. I think for the most part, people are in agreement now. There was kind of we didn't know if the G, because there's G, H, and M that are left as far as first letters for the last 3 names. The G and the H appear to probably both be coming next month. We have 2 more months left. We got November and we've got December, and only 3 characters. So I'm going to assume that we probably will have 2 characters in November that will coincide with the Thor Ragnarok movie. And the G, we were trying to decide if that was going to be Gladiator Hulk or Gladiator Thor. And then at some point this week, I think it was a couple days ago, that picture, that datamine picture was leaked showing both Thor and Hulk appeared to be his normal self, whereas Thor was definitely the Gladiator version. So I'm going to safely assume that the G is probably Gladiator Thor, which I was trying to think today of a good way for them to differentiate the Gladiator Thor from the original version of Thor, because really, I mean, he just has a hammer and he smashes things. And if you're going to make a Gladiator version of that, I'm assuming he probably will have like the double blades kind of resting on his back. And then I would love to see him with the shield and then kind of the club, like the thin club. I'm not sure what you call it. If you look up Thor Ragnarok pictures from the trailers, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But that is the look I hope they give to him. I've seen some trailer pictures of him with the double swords, and I feel like I'm kind of double swords out, if that's a term. We've had Medusa, we've had Blade now. Obviously, we have Gwenpool. We got a bunch of other people with swords. We got Angela. We got Psylocke. Gamora uses a sword. Magic uses a sword to a lesser degree. But I would like to see a shield. I'm trying to think right now. I don't think we've seen a shield from anybody. Would like to see well, no, I shouldn't say that. We got Captain America. So yeah, outside of him, and he's been around for a long time, I would like to see Gladiator Thor with the shield kind of club combo. And if he wants to pull out the swords for a special or a heavy attack, I would be totally fine with that. So that looks like the G. That kind of covers the G base. The H, really could either be Hela or Heimdall. I am leaning towards the fact that it's probably going to be Hela. I feel like Heimdall and Thor are too closely related as far as, you know, they're both kind of bruisers, would both have a weapon. I think they're just too similar of characters to place back-to-back in the same month like that. Don't get me wrong, I would not be upset if I saw Heimdall. I think he's a really awesome character. I want to see him in the game at some point, but I think we will probably see Hela to add some diversity there. We'll have a male character and a female character, a good character, a villain character. I think both of those kind of pair well with one another, and I think she's going to be very strong as well. I'm going to assume she will probably be Cosmic? I don't know. I'll leave that one up to discussion. Either Cosmic or Mystic. I'm leaning probably towards the Cosmic route there. So hopefully we've seen a couple good skills come. Hopefully we'll have a couple good Cosmics come here before the year's out. And then we can jump right into 2018 with a bunch of really good science characters. Do you hear me, Kabam? Please, for the love of God, please give us a science character. Where have they been? Now we do have December, which there, like I said, there was only 3 characters, but 2 months left, and we normally see 2 characters per month. My guess is that we will see something very similar to what we saw. It wasn't last December, but it was last year, where there was a featured arena for a crystal that included like the last couple of arenas worth of characters. So that is my guess. We will probably see the M character at the beginning part of December, and then the end of December will be kind of a flashback featured arena where you'll be able to win a crystal to pick up one of the characters that's been out over the last couple of months. But as far as the M character goes, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine there. I was thinking maybe, I haven't seen this tossed around, and it would be kind of, I guess it would be kind of strange. But it could be, I guess it might be Mantis. Like, I know they like to throw in kind of Guardian of the Galaxy characters. There's a lot of good synergies there. We saw here just recently with King Groot and Angela, both kind of hearkening back to that. So it fits the M. I don't know exactly how she would play out. Be a lot of like telepathy, mind control abilities. I don't know. We could see something there. Mr. Sinister is another one that could possibly be. I've seen a lot of people asking for that. Wouldn't be upset there either. Or, and call me crazy if you want to, would it be out of the realm of possibility to see a special Maestro event coming here at the end of the year? Am I crazy for saying that? Maestro is listed obviously in the list of characters, but he is actually not part of that poster that we saw. And with act number 5 at the very end, the last chapter that it has to be opened, you see that female silhouette. I wonder if like somehow maybe Death, the character Death, is involved there. If we won't see kind of Maestro overthrown and the Grandmaster and whoever that character is kind of come in and kind of take over the contest from there. Kind of just spitballing all of that. It was just an M. I didn't originally have Maestro there on my notes, but he just kind of came to me. I'm sure it's wrong, but it's my podcast, and I can say whatever I want to. If you don't agree with me, go make your own bloody podcast. And then finally, I have a very exciting thing to talk about here at the end of the podcast. On Wednesday, I believe it was Wednesday, Dorky Diggity Dave put out a video talking about a new mobile app called Clan HQ, CHQ, that is under development, that is being beta tested, that will be coming and available soon, that will help and benefit greatly those of us who are using other ways to communicate in Marvel Contest of Champions. And mainly that is communicating with inside of our alliance with one another, assigning lanes in AW and AQ, posting prestige, looking for recruitment, general communication, camaraderie, all of those things. We all use different apps, whether they be GroupMe, the Line app. I've seen people using Facebook Messenger. In fact, I was part of a group that used Facebook Messenger for a while. But really, this app and the idea that has kind of driven it from the very beginning is that there are other things that we do within those apps that those apps were never really designed for, that we can streamline and make so much easier, allow for the communication lines just to flow a lot better, for people to know exactly where they are supposed to be, the communications to be very pinpointed, only specific things come to you so that you do not get lost within all the messages, trying to figure out what it is exactly you're doing. So that was the initial video that Dave put out. And then right before I hit the record for this podcast, I also saw that Atomics posted a video as well. And I guess I'm here just kind of letting everybody know that I also have been involved in that now for the last, I believe it's been about 2 months. I was approached, and I got to say I was a little bit hesitant at first. I wasn't sure if this was a scam. I wasn't exactly sure what was going on. So I didn't necessarily jump at it right away. I was contacted again a second time, and that's when I realized that Dorky Diggity Dave and some other guys were involved in this, and that kind of put my mind at ease as to what was going on. But honestly, in my personal life, obviously with my son being born, I've had a lot of things with my business that have just really kept me from being able to throw out a lot of ideas during the development stage of this. But I've got to say that every single time that something came to mind that I wanted to say, the people that were involved, they were right on top of it. It was like they were reading my mind, and they were coming up with those ideas and even better ones that I wasn't even thinking of. The thing that has impressed me the most is that the people that are behind this are people who have a lot of seat time with the game. What I mean by that, these are people who have devoted hours and hours to actual gameplay, who understand what it takes to work and progress towards high-end gameplay, to be in high-end gameplay, to recruit, to run successful alliances. So when I say that this has been beta tested, just know that the people that are putting the thoughts and the developments and the ideas behind this are people just like you who enjoy the game, who spend a lot of time playing the game, and really have only the best purposes of the game in mind as we push it forward. Now, having said all of that, I can't give great detail specifically as how the app will work because it is still currently being beta tested. There are a lot of people that are being pulled in to test it, to try to work out some of the kinks, to finalize, to add things, anything that we might have missed in the group before it goes live. But I will let you know when it becomes available, for you guys to test out if that becomes available. Because honestly, I downloaded the beta version on Wednesday. I've been messing around with it a little bit since Wednesday, and I'm very, very impressed with it. A lot of the things that we have to have separate groups for, to add in photos, to calculate your prestige, that you constantly have to keep updating. You've got your different photos for different maps that we use, and then you've got different spreadsheets on top of that you constantly have to adjust as people come in and out of the alliance, get moved from battle group to battle group. That is all so streamlined, and if that was the only thing it did, it would be worth a download, and trust me, it does many, many more things. But I was absolutely blown away when I was just messing around with the app. I started an alliance so that I could look on that side of things. And I mean, it breaks them. You pick the map, you assign the person to the lane, it all shows up automatically. So you just go in there and boom, you can see exactly where you're assigned to. There's no need to try to flip through photos to figure out, am I FAC or am I 128 lane? Where does that correlate on the map? It's all right there. There's your name. There's your route. Go for it. And for those of you that are on the other side of that, who are assigning those lanes, things are going to be so much easier for you now. And then I mentioned you'll be able to add characters that automatically give you prestige. It just pops it right up, which is going to help things immensely when it comes to recruitment. If you're trying to get into an alliance, if you're trying to recruit people to the alliance, you can see what characters they have, what prestige they have. and then a bunch of other things, like I said, I can't get into right now, but that'll kind of give you a taste for what is to come. And I'm very, very excited for it, and look forward to be able to kind of breaking down the video and giving greater detail on how it is that you guys can implement it into your alliances and into your profile. And that is going to end the bottom line. This is podcast number 4. I appreciate everybody who has listened in. We finally hit the 30-minute mark. How about that? I told you we would continue. God, I said we again. I'm going to continue to try to add more and more content to each podcast to where we can work it up above the 30-minute mark. Probably pushing even further than that, maybe going towards maybe 40 minutes or so here in the future. But yeah, I think I've brought enough here for you guys to digest. If you have any comments, have any questions, would love to hear from you guys. As I mentioned at the beginning, please follow me over on Twitter and follow me over on, or not follow, but join my new Discord server. Would love to have you guys there. Having a lot of fun talking with everybody throughout the day. So, as always, thank you so much for your support. It does mean a great deal to me. Things are a little bit crazy in my life at the moment, but they will continue to settle down. We'll get back into a normal streaming schedule. Speaking of which, today is Friday the 30th. I do plan on streaming tonight. Look for me sometime around 10:30, 10:45 Eastern. We'll try to stream for an hour, hour and a half or so. It is a Friday night. Don't have to be back to work tomorrow. So maybe we can stay up a tiny bit later if my wife will let me. Maybe. We'll see how things go. But yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you guys in the stream tonight. All right, guys. If I don't talk to you in the stream, then have a great weekend. And I will catch you all in the next video. Have a great day.